I'm not an actress. I can't just pretend everything's okay. So I think a lot of the things that happened this year with Kathryn, I had to address some of the issues she asked me about, and she wanted to know my feelings towards it. And do I think she came out on top? I think you're gonna have to ask her. I don't know. I stand where I stand, and that's still in a weary spot.
And I mean, you are making history as the first woman of color to be on the show. I mean, that's got to feel pretty great, but also probably long overdue, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just at the end of the day, when I look at these shows, they're not documentaries, right? They're just pockets of friends, and I think that we hope that pockets of friends are more diverse, and I think that I just happen to be there, and I'm a little bit different, and I think my world is drastically more diverse than the rest of the cast, and so I hope that can bleed into the show more, because Charleston is diverse and there's so much rich history and color and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's I'm happy about it. I'm excited. I think it's going to be beautiful for the city and for the show. So.
Right. And I know this season, I mean, based on the trailer, you do tackle a lot of hard issues and having a lot of hard conversations, and especially you and Kathryn, it seems like, you do say that she lives in a white privilege bubble in the trailer. I mean, what prompted that conversation? And, does she go through a hard season, and does she kind of come out the other end?
So I think that definitely, I mean, I wasn't, sort of walking up and being like, white privilege, you're white privilege, you're white privilege, you need a pep talk, it just, listen, the world was changing, there was a lot going on, and we live in the South, and a lot of these affluent families, their histories, as you know, it would be really, really insensitive to deny that they are entangled with a lot of atrocities that were committed in the history of America, right? So let's just keep it real. You're not responsible for your history, but it happened. Mm-hmm. So to walk through life kind of forgetting that, I think is incredibly hurtful. And I think walking through life knowing that, a lot of your affluence is sitting on the shoulders of said person's, families, genocide. You cannot walk through life being tone deaf about that. And I think in the South, sometimes my bandwidth snaps, where I'm just like, don't talk like that. Like, do you even, and so I think that I wish that I could communicate in a calmer manner, but I think because sometimes I'm just like, how is this, how is nobody mentioning this? So I think that those moments, it was the world changing, so it was relevant. It's not as though I just sat down and was like, we need to address this. I think it bled into a lot of things. There were a lot of things that happened with Kathryn and other people and decisions she made. And again, I'm a pretty direct person to a fault. Like, if me and you are besties and you did something and I have a grievance with you, I can't sit there and be like, oh, let's have drinks and go out. I'm going to be like, you did this and I'm not happy about it. And I don't even know who you are right now, or I'm hurt by it or whatever it is. So I think that that's just the nature of my personality, where I'm not an actress. I can't just pretend everything's okay. So I think a lot of the things that happened this year with Kathryn, I had to address some of the issues she asked me about, and she wanted to know my feelings towards it. And do I think she came out on top? I think you're going to have to ask her. I don't know. I stand where I stand, and that's still in a weary spot. We'll see. Maybe we'll see next season. I don't know.
Right.
There's a lot happened this year.
Right. I mean, was it an eye-opening experience for her? Was she open to the conversations that you guys were having?
I think in the beginning, Kathryn was really wanting to sort of like bury her head in the sand. I think that, and don't get me wrong, it's Southern culture to not really address tough stuff. It's like everything is fine and bless your heart and pass the gravy and this flower arrangement is beautiful. Like it's not. It's very it lacks decorum to sort of have tough, heated conversations. And so I think it's not culturally embedded. And so I think that's number one. I also think that Kathryn had to have some adult conversations where nobody was coddling her and she couldn't be the victim. And I think that I would like to think I was the friend she needed, but maybe she didn't want. And it took some pulling and you know, because at the end of the day, it was more about, I just think dialogue is so much more effective than you suck.
Right.
You're go throw yourself off a bridge. Like, it just, that just serves nobody. You know, somebody makes a mistake or they're uneducated or whatever. I don't expect the person who's hurt, you know, it's like a mediator. I don't expect the person who's directly hurt to sit down, but if I can be, if I have the bandwidth or the cushion between, then I can have a little bit of a conversation, and that's where it's at with me, you know. So I think it's good for friend groups to have conversations like that, even though they're hard.